But we begin tonight with threats and truth. That is the focus of tonight's angle.
5 years ago, Speaker Gingrich visited Taiwan. It was completely wrong. The U.S. side should draw lessons from it instead of making repeated mistakes.
It's now, well, let me just tell you one thing. It's 10 a.m. in Taiwan, and to her credit, Nancy Pelosi didn't back down when China essentially threatened to shoot her plane out of the sky. Now, she's been on the ground for, what, about 12 hours or so, landing here just after 10:30 a.m. Eastern today. We're going to bring you news about the specifics of her meetings at any moment. Now, remember, trip details have been largely kept under wraps due to the security concerns. But by going ahead with this trip, Nancy Pelosi is defying the White House and ignoring the threats made by Chinese Communist Party leadership.
China's sovereignty cannot be infringed, and the Chinese people cannot be humiliated, and the reunification of China cannot be stopped. The PLA will not, stay idle.
Now, think about all those American companies like Nike and all the hedge funders like Larry Fink, the billions they make in China. It's a country that considers a brief visit by Nancy Pelosi with a longtime ally like Taiwan a humiliation, and then it uses it as a pretext to activate its military. Now, Speaker Pelosi has demonstrated that supporting the CCP is inconsistent with modern-day liberalism. And when that happened, most in the establishment, they didn't get angry with China, they got angry with Pelosi.
There was no immediate reason why the speaker had to go to Taiwan. There's no change in the fundamentals of U.S. policy.
Right now is the time to have good relations with China, open dialogue, and not doing anything to provoke them. I wouldn't be poking the bear right now.
Don't poke the bear. Well, I was heartened, though, to see that Mitch McConnell and some of the more establishment-type Republicans stood up to the PRC.
I think it's important that the speaker did go to Taiwan. I don't think the Chinese get to tell members of Congress where they can go.
Now, this moment has forced the establishment to acknowledge some very unpleasant truths about China that they've tried to keep hidden for years. President Xi is an evil dictator who doesn't want to just crush Taiwan just as he crushed Hong Kong, but ultimately he wants to dominate us as well. Yet the Biden administration, they still refuse to grasp or respond to this threat. Now, this just isn't the opinion of the Angle. Listen to Obama's former ambassador to China.
Poor Joe Biden, he looks weak because he either told her not to go, and it looks weak in the Chinese guys, or he's weak because he told her not to go and she went anyway. And that makes us look a little bit weak to the Chinese. Chinese understand strength better than do people in any other country, and they could smell weakness 100 miles away.
And weakness is what they're smelling here. For the week leading up to Pelosi landing in Taiwan, the Pentagon and the White House were panicking and waving her off. The fact is, they all know we aren't ready for a conflict with China. They just didn't want us to know that. But now we do, despite our $800 billion per year in military spending. We're just not prepared for President Xi's challenge. Now, thanks to China's admission into the World Trade Organization 21 years ago and our idiotic trade policy pre-Trump, China now has a larger standing army than we have. Marinate on that for a second. So bottom line, all the establishment's coddling of the CCP has empowered them and weakened us. And now we find ourselves more vulnerable militarily and economically. And all these supply chain issues we're dealing with expose how stupid and how reckless our establishment was. But now isn't the time to cry over all the spilled milk. If you think we are too dependent on China for key supplies, then it's time for us to build new supply chains. If you think we need an army that hasn't been hollowed out by wokeness, then it's time to reform the military. If you think that the Chinese are prepared to sacrifice for their country, and yet we Americans are not prepared to do so for our own, then let's think about how we can start teaching young people to love America instead of hating her. But don't keep pretending that we can give in to President Xi's demands over and over again without those demands getting worse. Today, he's telling us who can visit Taiwan. Tomorrow, he may be telling us what we can say about China, even at home. Now, this has already happened in the film industry, hasn't it? The future of America belongs to the political movement that best recognizes the danger of President Xi and figures out the best strategy to keep us all living from China's vice grip. And by the way, don't for a moment fall in with any of the cynics who say, oh, we can't untangle from China at this point. We're too enmeshed with China. They're wrong. We have a system that delivers the highest standard of living in the world to over 320 million people of all different backgrounds and ethnicities. They have a giant prison camp. We're talking about, I don't know, Winnie the Pooh can get you sent away for years. Yeah, we've been sloppy, and yeah, we've made mistakes. But instead of whining about how hopeless our position is, the time has come for all of us to live in the truth about what we're facing.
There is just no country that presents a broader threat to our ideas, our innovation, and our economic security than China.
Finally, that guy's right about something. And of course, Xi makes mistakes as well. The more he issues threats, the better America is going to look. If you live in Korea or Japan or India or Australia or New Zealand, you should be thinking, uh-oh, we could be next. Unless, that is, the Americans are strong enough to hold them off. So this isn't a day for hand-wringing. It's not even a day for recriminations against all those politicians, you know who you are, by the way, from both parties, who bollocks the whole China situation. Today is a day to come to terms with the fact that President Xi and the CCP are the single most dangerous threats to us and the world, and that it's time to change course before it's too late. And that's The Angle.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.